Hi ladies and gents, welcome back to Miss Raga's art room. Glad to have you. Okay, part 2. How are we now going to take this gorgeous shading and actually shade our project? Enter part 2. So we're going to break this into 2A and 2B. Okay, we're going to do a little line drawing on here. So for 2A, what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like the objects are sitting on top of those fractured lines. Right? For part B, we're going to pretend like we've drawn those fractured lines through. Okay? Now, as we shade, what we're going to be doing is putting this full value range in to each of these shapes. Wherever a new shape starts, then you have to switch the directions of your shading to create the full value range. Now, there is, I'm going to call it one rule with 2 parts to shading this project, which is a light value cannot touch light value. And the second part is a dark value cannot touch dark value. Let's look at this on one of my completed samples. So for example, okay, in this top section, we're pretending like our fractured lines go behind our circle, just like in this drawing, okay? In this drawing, the fractured space is happening entirely in the background and the objects sit on top. Now, wherever a new shape is created by a fractured line, right, or by another object, notice we're changing the direction of our shading so that it breaks up or fractures the space just by the change in value and not by a hard outline. With part 2, where we're letting those fractured lines go through our objects, we get even more of that cubist, broken, fractured space happening. And so wherever a line changes and creates a new space, we change the shading direction. And that gives us this real rich visual interest and a lot of practice using our pencil pressure and value, which is the whole point of this project. So I'm going to use a mixture of color and black and white. You could do this all black and white, you could do this all color. I'm just going to do a mixture for the sake of the demo so that you kind of get an experience with both. I do strongly recommend that for this worksheet purpose, for the practice, try both so that you're making a more educated artistic decision about what you'd like to do with your project. Okay, so let's start with 2A. Broken fractured lines going behind objects. So let's start at 2A, and I'm just going to go in this direction from dark to light. Get that warm up back in there. Shading. And you can shade any direction. I'm just going to shade horizontally and have that gradient go from dark, dark, dark to light. Now we won't be outlining anything. You'll notice on the samples, I'll pull one up again in a minute here, that there's no outline. We're going to just rely on the change in value to create the fracturing of the space, right? It's a more sophisticated way than doing, a hard Sharpie or dark pencil outline, right? We want to show our gorgeous shading skills. Okay, let's do a little blend. I'm going to bring in the Q-tip here. Why not? Do a little Q-tip work. I kind of use all the blending tools. I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I can never make up my mind. I can't. Okay. And I'm going to grab the vinyl eraser because you can see I overblended a little bit there, right? And I lost my value range. Okay, maybe even the kneaded eraser. A little chamois work. Ooh, there we go. Boy, I do love those chamois. You can also use another non-conventional blending tool. You could use like a piece of tissue wrapped around your finger, a bit of paper towel. Terrific. There we go. Beautiful, gorgeous value range, nice and smooth gradient. Whoop, straight through the shape. Okay, but now we have this other shape object happening here. And we can see that this shape object has light middle coming at this edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to reverse it. We're going to have dark going around here to light this direction. And now I'm going to mix it up with some color. And I'm going to use my, whoops, broke the tip of that there. I'm going to use my colored pencil, and Now the difference with the colored pencils are wax-based with pigment suspended in them. So we actually have to have a little bit more pencil pressure control when we're working with them, because the wax doesn't like to smudge as well as the graphite. We can certainly smudge it a little bit, but not in the same way that we would normally smudge our graphite pencil. Oh, I got focused on my shading there and I forgot to talk. Okay, let's do a little smudge. I do like, you can blend your colored pencil slightly with the Q-tips. Don't grab your dirty tortillon from working with the graphite and try to blend your colored pencil. Woof, disaster. You're gonna end up with all sorts of graphite mixed in with your beautiful color, so you don't wanna do that, okay? So grab yourself a fresh Q-tip. Q-tips are cheap. I usually get them from BJ's or Dollar Tree. Oh, and there I over blended. So I'm gonna grab my eraser. You'll notice I use the eraser almost as much as I use my pencil. And here I'm gonna bring my dark just a little bit further up to that light edge so it's really defined. There we go. Okay, so light value touching dark, light touching dark here. No light touching light, no dark touching dark. Okay, but now we got a tricky thing happening. Uh-oh, I could have a dark touching dark here, so I gotta get creative. I'm gonna start by shading dark at this top edge here, but then it's gonna immediately fade to light as it goes down towards this edge. I'm gonna kind of bring it in a halo almost around. And you're gonna find you have to start getting creative with your shading pretty quickly. It's almost like a puzzle that's gotta fit together. Do you know what I mean? You've gotta kind of figure out, all right, if I've got, you know, dark happening here and light happening here, and then it switches to dark again back this way, okay, that means in the next shape I have to go dark this way, then light this way, and it becomes like this, yeah, like a fun puzzle that you kind of knit together or bring together. And check that out. I'm getting beautiful gradient, beautiful value, dark to light. I'm gonna go back to my tortillon here. I love blending with dirty tortillons, these guys, because the more pencil that gets built up on them, oof, the easier it is to smudge and create gorgeous value range. Okay, and oh my goodness, look at how many tools I constantly grab and work with, huh? Never just one. That's why we always got tons of drawing tools to work with to create awesome value range. All right, cool. There's the top. This is the one where, okay, I'm keeping all my fractured space behind my objects. Let's do something a little bit more complex. Whew. All my fractured lines are going through my objects now. Now I'm really breaking up the space for that cubist effect. All right. And so we'll start black and white again. Okay, I've got pretty much, boy, dark on this edge, so I guess I better go kind of dark to light this way. So I'll grab my pencil. All right, and you're just constantly surveying which directions you need to shade in. And this is a good practice too of the mixture of working with black and white, right? Not just black and white, I'm sorry, black and white and color, not just color. Because on my demo this year, I will be doing one that is just straight color, right? So there we go, I don't have two values touching. Same thing, a good blend. I think one thing when we're blending, it's really easy to accidentally like overblend and lose your light values. So don't be afraid of that eraser, either the white chunk one or your kneaded one, the gray gummy eraser. Don't be afraid to get in there and really blend work those value ranges. You may not hit it out of the park just with the pencil. You gotta use all the tools in your toolbox. And don't give up. Don't give up. Shading takes practice. The more you do it, just the better muscle memory you get for it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so tricky. I've got dark and I've got light. Ooh, but I should erase a little bit more at that edge there. But I also then have this kind of little corner of dark. So I think what I'm gonna do is almost go kitty corner dark to light this way. And let's see how that looks. I'm gonna switch back over to my color. And I'm gonna go dark, kind of dark along this edge, and then bring it out to light real quickly this way. We'll see how that looks. Okay, grab my Q-tip, do some blending. There we go. Okay, now tricky again, right? Oof, I've got dark to dark, but I've got light here. So I think what I'll do is I can do kitty corner. Kitty corner is okay, dark to dark kitty corner. But right next to there, I'll start with that dark. I'll go dark this way, but then as it goes up towards here, we're gonna go light again. Right, this is kind of a thinking project. You gotta really think, okay, which way do I need to bring that shading direction? I gotta control my pencil pressure. What a great warm-up project for the start of the year, this fractured space, right? It really gets the brain matter going. Okay, a little erase here. Oh, just checking to make sure I'm still on my screen. Very good. Okay, a little dab there. Excellent. Oh boy. Okay, it got complex because now I've got dark, I've got dark, but I do have two lights here. So I think what I'll do now is I'll go dark from this corner and bring it around light out towards this edge. Almost do the reverse of what I did up here, right? So start heavy, heavy dark in the corner, and then I'm gonna start bringing that light value out towards the edge. Excellent. And in just this little practice, you really get the technique for how we're going to shade our whole, much more complex, fractured toys and candy drawing. Awesome. Okay, let's grab our Q-tip, our blending tools, and do our last blend. I'm really doing a good job craftsmanship-wise of keeping my shading within the shape. I'm really doing a nice job of trying to smooth out my pencil streakiness. I want nice, smooth, clean value. There we are, and that's our technique. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end this video here, and then the next video you should be looking for, okay, is actually starting this technique now on our project. Thanks for watching, all right, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.